Ready?
Always.
Hello and welcome to Electric Football. With you as always, I'm Stuart Pace.
I'm Steve Brown.
This is Week 12, and we're going to start out talking about a couple plays this week that kind of are controversial. The first one was in the 49ers Saints game. Little hit that they called kind of blow to the head, which I kind of disagree with.
Well, what is a linebacker supposed to do? He's engaged with a 300-pound guy trying to knock him on his ass. He's 6 or 7 inches bigger than Drew Brees because he is that little Drew Brees.
He is a mini-me.
And you've only got one shot at him. So technically the neck and head are zones that you're not allowed to strike. But then again, so is below the knees. How are you going to make a tackle with a guy engaged, knocking you out of the way, and you got one shot at him? You're supposed to get him here, not here. Right. I mean, a little ridiculous. And
it was on a turnover, which would have ended the game. I thought that was the key part of the whole play, too.
Yeah, it's a game-ending play. It may be the play that knocks San Francisco out of any chance at the division.
Mm-hmm.
It could conceivably knock them out of a wild card, just that one play. And I don't know what Brooks is supposed to do in that play.
I don't know either. I thought it was a pretty clean hit after watching it, half a dozen times. You're right. You're coming around a corner after just blowing by a 380-pound guy. And then what do you have to take a tape measure out and see what the measurements are on Drew Brees to hit him?
Yeah, stop and set yourself.
Yeah,
you don't have time for that.
Yeah.
And the argument was, Drew Brees was cut, so he must have hit him. And you know what? It's football. I mean, it used to be football.
Yeah.
It used to be that defense was part of football. Mean Joe Green used to actually push his arm in and rip the still beating heart out of guys. Like that's how Jim Hart died.
I thought that was Indiana Jones.
Was Joe Green actually pulled out his heart, took a bite of it to steal his power, which I've done, But
he must be Dothraki.
There you go. And then the nice game.
Thank you.
Game of stews.
Yes.
And the other play was last night in the Monday night. The thrown flag. Is it pass interference or not on Kuechly? I believe it was.
Yeah.
But see, there should have been a flag thrown, and the flag should have been thrown on Danny Amendola for leapfrogging Kuechly after that play. If you watch that whole thing, they tell me white man can't jump. Danny Amendola went over Luke Kuechly. It was pretty impressive.
I think that was clearly. I don't think it was pass interference. Actually, what I'm reading is it could have been holding the whole way down because I don't know. They're talking about catchability. They're saying Gronk couldn't have gone back to the ball. I think he would have had a chance if Kuechly wasn't in his way the whole way around. I don't know.
I don't know if he would have caught it, but he would have been involved in the play.
Well, he would have at least had a chance at it.
Right. So let's say he doesn't catch it, but let's say he hits the receiver, the ball goes up in the air, and Amendola leaps over Kuechly, which he proved he could do, and intercepts it. You never know what's going to happen.
Right.
There's about 5 different things they could have called that. They could have called it holding. They could have called it
Munchausen by proxy.
Illegal contact. They could have called it whatever, Munchausen disease, and he just... Baron von Munchausen, wasn't he a wrestler? Used to do the claw.
Yeah, I think so.
And where's the man's tweeter when I need him?
Anyway, come on, tweeter, get online here. Tell us what we're talking about.
Baron van Munchke, Baron van Raschke, something like that. I think he was one of my friend's substitute teachers and also used to claw people.
Yeah, I think he was my driving instructor.
All right, so let's get into the games.
All right, here we go.
We've got a Thursday nighter. It's the Saints at the Falcons, and let's face facts. The Saints, on the controversial win, but they are on a roll. They're the much better team. Falcons have quit. They're already planning their vacation. Saints, doesn't matter where this game's played.
Yeah, they've got the better talent. They need the win to stay close to the second seed. I don't think they're going to get the first seed in the NFC, but they certainly need the win to keep the second seed. I think it's the Saints.
All right, want to talk about a play that may have cost your team the playoffs? We got the Bucs at the Lions, and what was Jim Schwartz thinking? He's up 4. There's 12 minutes to go in the fourth. You've got a pretty ferocious defense. You've held the Steelers in check, and you decide, I'm going to have my kick holder make a break for it. And nobody said to him, wrap it up with 2 hands when you feel the smoky dragon breath from these 300-pounders. You're a pasty 145-pound non-athlete running through them like with the ball in one hand. That was craziness.
Just because you wear a Barry Sanders shirt at home.
I would not have gone for that if I was the Steelers and I was down, let alone, Detroit and up.
Yeah.
So there you go. He may have cost them the game. The Bucs have been playing a lot harder recently.
Playing very well.
Yeah. And if you look at their point differential and the games they lost early in the season, they really could be in much better shape. I don't think it's going to matter though. I think the Lions are going to win this game. They are now in a dog fight, in a cat fight, in a bear fight, in a bird fight. They're in some kind of a fight with Chicago, basically because of a bad play call.
Yeah, yeah. I agree. Though, the Lions they got to keep pace here. What are they? One on top of the Bears here?
I believe it's even.
Oh, they're even. So if they're even, then yeah, they certainly need to win. And Tampa Bay's putting up a valiant effort, but they don't have enough here. Not against Detroit.
Okay. My Vikes.
The gold Nordic invaders.
They're going against Green Bay. And I got to tell you, you talk about bad coaching moves in the NFC North. You've had them with Trestman. You've had them with Schwartz. You haven't had him with Mike McCarthy because he's got nothing to work with ever since, what was it, Shea McClellan slammed Aaron Rodgers. He'll have enough to work with in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie Lacy is going to be enough to work with against the Viking defense. Scott Tolzien is going to, is actually probably going to shred us because we suck this year. I'm sorry. It's tough to deal with. Adrian is talking about, his groin being very painful. That's our only hope. And if he's dinged up, it ain't going to happen.
Yep,
give me the Packers to win this one.
Yep, even game, even without Aaron Rodgers. I think it's pretty even.
Did you just say Aaron Rodgers? You Wesley Webbit?
Did I say Rodgers?
I don't know.
Well,
it sounded like it through the
if Aaron Rodgers is out, I certainly don't give the Vikings a choice.
Nice.
All right. Jaguars, Texans.
There you go. Want to talk about bad coaching moves? Kubiak just had his Alamo, if you will.
Yeah.
He just grabbed Matt Schaub and said, "We're going down together, pal. Get in there."
I pinned my life on you, and we're going together.
And it was a bad person to pin his life on. Brady's last throw was not great. Schaub's last throw was horrific. And Andre Johnson is even turning on him now. I mean, he's leaving games early.
Yep.
I mean, it is
going
crazy.
out for a smoke in the third quarter.
And as a Viking fan, I have to say, go Jags, go.
Yeah.
Go Jags, go.
The Jags have one more win since week 2 than the Texans. I'm taking the Jaguars.
Okay. I am actually taking the Jaguars too. So
okay.
We are.
Look at that.
Going for number 2.
What are we thinking?
So Chargers at the Chiefs, and the Chargers left the Dolphins alive and flopping on the beach. The Dolphins pulled that game out. Did you pick them? Dolphins?
I did.
I believe I took the Chargers
on that.
You
did, because you're an idiot.
I seem to be an idiot. There's a possibility that I'm not very bright. So anyway, the Chiefs the Chiefs took the loss to the Broncos that this idiot called. Thank you.
Gee.
Well, the first loss of the season, you get
Broncos in Denver against Chiefs. Oh,
I know.
Oh, great Swami, what do you have in store this week?
Okay. He's got a point. I'm under the weather. I don't know what I'm saying. There's a fever. I may start blowing snot all over the table.
Oh, well, let me get my drink.
But the Chargers have played well. The Chiefs have played much better. The Chiefs are at home. The only way the Chiefs blow this one is if they're looking ahead to the rematch against the Broncos. I think Andy Reid's a good enough coach that they won't be. I give this one to the Chiefs.
I think the Chiefs' D was exposed here. I mean, they finally played a team that had a semblance of an even offense. And granted, it's Peyton Manning. But I think San Diego also has the pieces that could, simulate what Manning does. Maybe not. Yeah, well, I smell an upset here, and I'm taking the Chargers.
Okay, what he smells may be me.
That could be.
There are fluids leaking out all over the place.
Man, is that Vapor Rub?
Anyway, guys. We're going to the Panthers at the Dolphins, and the Panthers are playing spectacularly well recently.
They didn't play spectacularly last night.
They played some pretty good defense last night, especially on that last play where Kuechly was just like...
Yeah. When you're hugging the guy on the way down the field.
With your back turned to the ball.
That's not spectacular.
It's fine by me. It worked. They won. I believe that the Panthers have plenty to take it to the Dolphins, especially on the offensive side of the ball. The Dolphins, I didn't see the game, so you can tell me maybe their line gelled a little bit, but I don't see a way that they're going to hold the Panthers back.
No, they played a weak San Diego team. They happened to get a decent performance out of Daniel Thomas, which they haven't had all season. Our defense couldn't stop the run, but I'm not as worried about Carolina here. For some reason, I just feel that our defense matches up pretty well against them. I am concerned about our offense versus that line, but they lost. Who was the defensive end that just went out? He's definitely not playing next week for Carolina. Got injured in the game. Can't remember his name right now.
Greg Hardy?
No, big-time player.
I fell asleep.
Okay. Anyway, I'm taking Miami here. They're home. Carolina comes off a big win, which they shouldn't have won. I think I think Miami can take it here.
All right.
Slim margin.
Talking about teams that should not have won, the Steelers at the Browns. And this is really an eliminator game. The Steelers still have a little bit of life, I guess.
Mathematically.
The Browns, same sort of a situation. Right now, I think the Steelers have them on the tiebreaker. There's 3 teams at like 4 and 6.
Yeah.
One of these teams is gone. One of these teams will have a little life at the end of this. I believe the Steelers are going to pull this one out. Basically based on Ben Roethlisberger being a much better big game quarterback, and as far as a lousy season goes, this is a big game for both these teams.
Yeah, I don't think Antonio Brown has quite the day that he had last week, but I certainly think even without the Bumblebee costumes, they have enough firepower to beat Cleveland. It's one of those games. I think it's close. Divisional games I love because I think people just play harder to play against a team that you're always facing on a regular basis. And the Browns and Pittsburgh are not strangers to each other. I think it's a closer game than it should be. And it's tough for me to take Pittsburgh on the road here, but I am. I'm taking Pittsburgh.
All right. Bears at the Rams. And even though I can't say his name, Josh McCown has played very well. They're basically healthy. And Matt Forte is a huge weapon for Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that gives them enough to get by the Rams here. The Rams are coming off the bye, but Chicago is the much more desperate team. Chicago, because of Detroit's bad play calling, and you know what? Because of Trestman's mistake, Chicago could be winning this division.
Yeah.
Coupled with Aaron Rodgers going down, it's a wide open division. Chicago needs this game way more than the Rams do because Seattle's running away with things.
Right.
So I'm going with the desperate team wins theory, and I'm taking Chicago.
All right. Well, I agree. The Bears are going to try to keep pace with the Lions, but can the Rams do what they did to Indianapolis 2 weeks ago and come off the bye and play at home and beat Chicago? I'm taking the upset here. I'm taking the Rams.
Fair enough. Jets at the Ravens, and the Jets have a real problem. They seem to have decided that it's going to be Geno Smith. But Matt Sims is coming in there when they're giving him shots, and it's not when the game's on the line. It's preseason. We don't have a body of work, but when he's in there, he's playing all right. Geno is up and down badly. His rookie stats actually match up pretty well with Mark Sanchez's if you look at a comparison,
really? Okay.
Which is actually pretty scary for Rex Ryan considering what happened later in Sanchez's career. So, is it Smith? Is it Sims? Is it Garrard? How quickly will the hook come? At least the Ravens don't have this concern. And the Ravens traditionally play really well at home, and they traditionally play the Jets really well. So I'm taking the Ravens.
All right, I'm taking the Jets just because you know what? It's that week where they win. They set every other week they win. This is the week.
All right, Titans at Ravens. And
I'm not going to play with fate.
You've got a well-bearded Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Oh, man,
and I
really?
I do go for the well-bearded quarterbacks.
But I was on Duck Dynasty.
He's going against McGloin, who looks like
McGloin? My loins?
Kid walked on at Penn State.
McGloin?
He's now. I know.
That's the sound my bed springs make when I get in. McGloin?
Yeah. Wasn't there a McBoing Boing?
Yeah, something McBoing.
Yeah, there was
Gerald McBoing Boing.
Gerald McBoing Boing, the old cartoon. The kid couldn't talk, but he made noises. McGloin. Look it up. I'm sure it's on YouTube.
Yeah, if you're still watching it 13:50 in.
So Gerald McGloing is going up against a turnover machine and Ryan Fitzpatrick, the bearded wonder. But the kid looked good, and I'm going to give him another game. I'm gonna take the Raiders based on just the McGloin factor.
Well, I agree, just because I think Rashad Jennings is playing really well as a running back for Oakland. And I think, Tennessee started out hot. They're falling apart. They're not playing well. I'm taking Oakland here.
All right. Colts at the Cardinals, and this is a surprisingly competitive game. Now, I got to ask you, did you see the video of Andre Ellington losing his dreadlocks?
I did not see that. No.
Oh, Jason Babbitt comes up with what looks like a handful of snakes.
Really?
And I'm assuming that Larry Fitzgerald went right out and got a buzz cut because that was seriously painful. But Bruce Arians really is coach of the year. I mean, he's got a Cardinals team that's competitive, that's playing hard,
right.
and it's still not going to be enough because I am on the Colts bandwagon. I think they come in, I think they take this game, and I think Ellington and Fitzgerald should go with the clean-shaven look.
Yeah, I'm taking the Cardinals this week. I think their defense is pretty good. Andrew Luck has not proven to be as consistent as everyone was hoping he'd be. I don't know if that's a matter of talent or if it's a matter of coaching, or maybe he's not as good as we all expected him to be. It was a lot of pressure on this kid, and I'm not saying he's not a good quarterback. I just think, it's year 2 for this guy.
And lost Reggie Wayne.
Yeah, I think the Cards D, they're pumped up, they're playing well. I'm taking the Cards at home.
All right. We're disagreeing a lot this week, so just remember to take Steve's picks.
Okay.
Anyway, here's a great game that shouldn't have been a great game. We've got the Cowboys at the Giants.
Yeah, first place in sight.
Has a team ever started 0-6 and then won 5 in a row? I don't know. If there's anybody out there that can do a little research better than us, please
or even try, because we didn't even try.
I just thought of it this minute.
Oh, okay.
But, I got to watch some of the Giants game. My kid finished up his soccer season, and I got to watch some of the Giants game. JPP made a JPP-like play, leaping interception, gone into the end zone. Andre Brown has really revitalized what was
running hard,
yeah, was a stagnant running game, and as long as his legs hold up, I mean, the guy's had 2 broken legs. You gotta admire his grit getting back there, but every time he takes a hit, you gotta go, did I hear a snap?
Yeah, those just pads.
But they look, the Giants look better. Now, have they played against a legitimate quarterback? Not really. If you look at who they beat, and they've been lucky to get Tolzien instead of Rodgers and things like that. They had Freeman for my Vikes in his first and only game.
Right.
So it's been a crazy season for the Giants. Cowboys do what they always do. They disappoint. They choke. But I think they have enough to win this game. They have a tendency to come into Giant Stadium and play their best game of the season often, and I believe that's going to happen again here. They've got more talent and less dysfunction. Hakeem Nicks is evidently taking himself out of games because he just isn't happy.
Okay. So who are you taking?
I'm taking the Cowboys.
Oh, yeah, I am as well. It's first place in sight. Neither team really has a winning record. The Cowboys are 5-5. I just like Romo here. I agree. The Giants haven't been up against a formidable offense yet. They're former formidable offenses, but with the wrong pieces in there at quarterback. I think Romo puts it to them like they did when they opened up the season the year before.
There we go. We're in agreement on that one.
All right.
So we've got Broncos at the Patriots, and that's a great game. I mean, it really is. The Broncos are we've talked about the tough stretch they have, and, it's frustrating to see Peyton Manning slightly hobbled. What did he get? 1 touchdown this week?
Yeah.
So, the pace that he was on has clearly slowed up a little bit. But you want to see, and Brady used to own him in those matchups.
Yep.
I mean, it used to be Colts, New England, and you go, oh, this is going to be great. Oh, this is going to be. And Brady would own him.
Yep.
Spanked him like he does Giselle. I'm sorry, folks. Anyway, this time I think Peyton has too many weapons, and I think Tom doesn't. I think Tom's had the most frustrating season he's ever had in his life.
Appeared so on the way out last night.
Dropping F-bombs on the ref, and understandably so. That was a pretty
really bad call.
Poorly handled situation. Even once the flag went down, something should have been called. Yeah. And then perhaps the next one, I don't know. I don't know what the refs owe him, but it was pretty weak. But he's had a frustrating season. Trying to keep his targets healthy, trying to get synced up with the new guys, and I think Peyton Manning's much more in sync. I think the Broncos are going to be able to establish a little bit more of a running game than the Patriots will be able to do. I'm taking the Broncos. Yeah,
I'm going to continue with the mastery of the Peyton Manning, Tom Brady world.
Just got his number.
I just think it's just one of those things. I think Belichick just knows how to beat Peyton Manning. Because it's not Brady against Peyton Manning, it's Belichick's defense, and he could have McGloin as a cornerback, and for some reason McGloin would get a pick. I just see the Patriots recovering from a really bad call and winning this game at home.
Okay, I mean there's a chance too that the Broncos are looking ahead to the Chiefs game. I'm taking the Broncos.
Okay.
If somebody wants to check our record, all right, you know what? I'll do it. I'm being lazy.
One of us should do work.
Exactly. So we're going to finish it up with San Francisco at the Redskins. And I got to tell you, San Francisco has not caught a break at all this season.
They got robbed.
They've got robbed. Seattle now pretty much has control of that division. I mean, I'm sure it's not mathematically so, but come on, let's face facts. Seattle's gotten healthy. I'm going to call for the upset here. I honestly think that I know,
Wow.
and there's nothing based on the Redskins' last game to do that, but I see RG3 looking and playing with more confidence, and somehow I just feel like he's going to break off a couple of big runs against that San Francisco defense. I think they're dispirited in San Francisco, and I think that the Redskins are pulling this one off.
Well,
I'll probably lose by 39 points, but that's my pick.
Griffin isn't nearly the quarterback Drew Brees was, and Brees only threw for one touchdown last week. I just don't see Griffin connecting like Drew Brees can, and Brees didn't even connect in that game. The Niners are on their second road game, and so they are primed. I love the second road game jinx. It's hard to do that no matter who they're playing. They could be playing Jacksonville. Jacksonville will rise to the occasion at home, but they're playing the Redskins. The Redskins have a lot to prove. You know, they're not that bad a team. They're old on defense, though. Kaepernick, you know, I might be changing my pick here. I think I just convinced myself that Kaepernick's not the guy.
Yeah, you are not a Kaepernick guy.
Yeah, I'm not. And for that reason alone, I'm switching. I'm throwing the paper out. I'm taking the Washington Redskins at home.
Woohoo!
Wow.
All right, guys. So
Well done.
that's Electric Football. We hope you enjoy the show.
We do.
Please comment. We love to hear from you. We'll
Love
shoot
the
back to
banter.
you. And that's all I got.
That's it. Thanks to the Cosmos Club for hosting us every week. Shout out to the boys at the Fin Nation and Fanatics. Keep posting, guys. It's a lot of fun.
All right.
All right. We'll see you next week.
Subscribe.
Goodbye.